A week on, the war in West Asia rages on. Donald Trump discards possibility of any deal.
Their army is gone. They're just about, look, their navy is gone. Their communications are gone. Their leaders are gone. Their air force is wiped out entirely.
Defiant Tehran rejects demand to surrender.
They will take the dreams of us surrendering unconditionally to the grave.
But promises relief to Gulf neighbors. Trump now vows to hit Iran very hard. And Israel continues to bombard Tehran and Beirut. The war in West Asia is our top focus on India Today.
Good evening. US President Donald Trump has warned to hit areas in Iran never struck before. President Trump has threatened tonight Iran will be hit very hard, under serious consideration for complete destruction and certain death because of Iran's bad behavior. President Trump has just written in a social media post. President Trump has taken credit for Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian apologizing to Gulf countries and promising not to target them in this conflict. President Trump claims for the first time ever, Iran has apologized and he's taken credit. He says Iran has apologized because of the relentless US and Israeli bombing of Iran in the past 7 days, and he insists Iran today neither has an air force nor a navy. Now, the American assessment is Iran's missile strike capabilities are down by over 90%. Their drone strike capabilities are down by over 85%. And it's only a matter of time before Iran completely collapses and folds. President Trump sees Pezeshkian's apology as that first admission of defeat. However, this apology from President Masoud Pezeshkian to Gulf countries comes with a caveat. Iran says it will not bomb the GCC countries again as long as air bases and US military bases in the region are not used against them to target Iran. So this isn't unconditional, it comes with a caveat. Iran has also ruled out any question whatsoever of surrender to the United States, and Israel insisting that those who think Iran will surrender will take this thought with them to their graves. We will get you much more on this massive escalation in West Asia in the past 12 hours. But first, we get you this ground report on the day's developments.
The raging West Asia war is at its peak. Fresh attacks and strikes turning blue skies black and lives into corpses. US President Donald Trump, who delivered the first blow to Iran with the help of Israel 1 week ago, has made his intentions clear. No deal is possible with Iran, and only unconditional surrender will bring this deadly conflict to a halt. President Donald Trump also said that the US and Israeli forces wreaked havoc on Iran, leaving the regime and its military in shambles.
Iran were doing very well. Somebody said, how would you score it from 0 to 10? I said, I'd give it a 12 to a 15. Their army is gone. They're just about, look, their navy is gone. Their communications are gone. Their leaders are gone.
This comes after Trump asked Iranian forces to lay down their arms for the sake of the country.
Once again calling on all members of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, the military and the police to lay down their arms. They're only going to be killed. And now is the time to stand up for the Iranian people and help take back your country.
Tehran has strongly rejected this demand. Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian has said that the call for unconditional surrender is a dream that Washington should take to its grave. The Iranian president also apologized to neighboring nations for the attacks on their territories and assured that such strikes would cease if Gulf nations did not attack Iran. However, that promise currently rests on shaky grounds. Because shortly after, Dubai's airport came under a drone attack, sending plumes of smoke into the air.
Here up straight to the aircraft.
The iconic Burj Khalifa, which sees a record footfall of tourists through the year, is now wearing a deserted look.
This Burj Khalifa tower that you see in these images at Dubai Mall, this area, the central part of UAE, not much of the tourist footfall that is visible. Clearly a quite deserting look, but since this is being very early morning of Dubai, and that also explains about the furious situation. The Dubai Authority, the UAE government has issued prohibitory orders that people should not be sharing videos, images about the attacks that are taking place or the areas which is affected by that.
Both sides in the war have refused to back off and remain defiant, while almost every nation, including India, has urged them to exercise restraint. The question now is, which side will blink first? With Ashutosh Mishra in Dubai, Bureau Report, India Today.
There's more escalation on the Israel-Lebanon front. Israel continues to pound Beirut, and not just Beirut, but several other parts of Lebanon. The government in Lebanon has said 41 people have been killed in fresh airstrikes by the Israeli Defense Forces in the eastern part of the country. In fact, Israel is believed to have carried out a heliborne operation. They've carried out an insertion strike inside Lebanon, and this is an area where Israel had lost a pilot decades ago. Now the effort is to locate the grave of that pilot, but reports seem to indicate that the area where the heliborne operation was carried out, where Israeli forces were inserted into Lebanon, and according to some reports from the Syrian side, this is a stronghold of the Hezbollah, and they came in under strong attack. There was a fierce fight, and Israeli air power had to be called in. The moment the Israeli air power came in, there was fresh pounding of that locality, of that area. That's the information that's coming up. So this is seen as massive escalation, not just along West Asia, but specifically on the second front. Israel continues to pound Iran. Israel continues to hit the Hezbollah strongholds inside Lebanon. Israel has intensified its airstrikes and missile strikes in Lebanon, pounding Hezbollah strongholds in the southern suburb of Beirut and even beyond. And this after Hezbollah's rocket and drone attacks that continued even today. India Today's Ashraf Vani is on ground zero. He gets us this report.
West Asia is on the edge. The conflict between Israel, United States and Iran has extended to Lebanon. Israeli forces' latest target is the pro-Iran Hezbollah. The IDF has claimed that it has launched 26 waves of attacks at Hezbollah's key military infrastructure in Lebanon. The bombardment has collapsed buildings and sent shockwaves through the Lebanese capital Beirut's southern suburb.
You can see the devastation in the suburb of Beirut. This is the stronghold of Hezbollah, and every day the IDF Air Force is continuously bombing the South Beirut. This is the stronghold of Hezbollah.
Explosions in the southern part of the capital have blown buildings to smithereens.
The reports what we are getting are that the helicopters, 4 helicopters entered into this area from where the ground invasion was started by the Israeli army, which was tried to foil by Hezbollah as well as by the Lebanese army. And in the bombing, 3 soldiers of Lebanese army are confirmed dead.
The strikes come after Hezbollah joined the fray, firing rockets and drones into Israel in retaliation for the killing of Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah al-Khamenei. Now they are being decimated by Operation Roaring Lion. Caught in the crossfire, tens of thousands of Lebanese residents have been displaced. People are now compelled to sleep on the roads for safety. As the shadow war spreads from Tehran to Beirut and beyond, India monitors the development closely in West Asia. With Ashraf Wani in Beirut, Bureau Report, India Today.
And joining me now on the extremely volatile situation in the region is Roxana Chigini. Roxana Chigini is Iranian cultural analyst and advocate for democratic transition. Roxana Chigini, welcome. Your reading of President Masoud Pezeshkian apologizing to GCC countries and saying Iran will no longer bomb them. Is this, in your view, admission of defeat, as President Trump calls it?
No, I think in Iran they have killed Khamenei, but there are thousands of Khamenei deciding what to do. Pezeshkian has just lied. For a few hours ago, they bombed UAE's, Dubai's airport. They're going to continue. It shows that they are not scared of everybody. They're not scared of anybody. They don't care what Trump says. They don't care what Prince Reza Pahlavi says. They don't care about what the world says. They have planned to just bullying and make a chaos and then scare people, scare countries to react. That's what I think. That's what we believe. I just spoke for a few hours ago with my friends in Dubai. As you know, I believe 16 years in Dubai.
Yes.
Dubai in UAE is a safe place, and rulers of Dubai, they're trying to keep UAE a safe place. But, you know, they have bombed Tajikistan. They have bombed countries that they're Muslim countries. It shows that they don't care about the religion, and it's not a religion government. It is an ideology. They want to spread the ideology. They want to bully the world. They don't want to give up. That's what we believe here.
How long can the Iranian government last? Because initially the assumption was the moment Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is decapitated or killed, lakhs and lakhs of people would take to the streets, there would be a revolution and the regime would be overthrown. Now reports seem to suggest the regime is still very strong.
Yes, that's true. The regime is still very strong. But I need to clear something. Trump, Israel, that we really thank. It is so sad to see a nation, a country of 90 people, that they're sitting at home and they're happy. They're happy that they're getting bombed. It was a good scenario. It was a very dreaming scenario, but they are waiting at home. Trump, Prince Reza Pahlavi and Israel, they have called, stay at home, don't come out. They are going to destroy everything that it is connected to this regime. And then people can come out. Otherwise, it's not going to be successful. They have plans, and I don't think it's going to be to the end in the next couple of days. The regime is very strong. They had 47 years to plan everything. And, you know, the world has been quiet. Now, you know, the world is getting united. The world is seeing what Iranian people has been going through for the 47 years. And the world see that is not an internal problem only in Iran. This is an international problem.
A part of President Trump and Israel's strategy is to ensure that people in Kurdistan, they rise against the regime in Tehran. People in Sistan, Baluchistan, along the Pakistan-Iran border, they rise, the periphery rises against the core. Do you see that happen?
We are hoping that it happens. You know, for 10 years ago, nobody believed that is happening, what is happening today. For a few years ago, we didn't believe that. You know, for 1 month ago, when people went out for a peaceful demonstration and they killed over 40,000 people, we didn't believe that it's coming to the point. We didn't believe that Germany stand with us. We didn't believe that all Arab countries and the countries in the regime, they see the true face of this government. We didn't believe that Israel and United States, they come to the rescue. I'm living in Germany. I'm just joining in a small demonstration all around
Yes.
the Europe and Australia and America. There are small and big demonstrations because we are united. For 47 years ago, an old generation, they made a big mistakes. The world was quiet, but now the new generation, they need a change, and they deserve a democracy. Who believed that for less than 100 years ago, the world helped Germany to finish Hitler, to finish the Nazi. And now look at Germany. They built a beautiful country, democratic country.
There are many who say the longer this war lasts, the better are the chances for the regime to survive. Because not everybody, Roxana, even within Iran, want this regime to go. Some may want the regime to go, but there are many who swear by this regime, and there are those who say, why should we let Americans and Israelis overthrow the Iranian regime, the Persian people, the proud Persian people?
You are absolutely right. They are, a very small calculation. There are 300,000 over only mullahs in Iran. They have a family of 5. It makes 1.5 million. Many people are working there. Many people's existence are belonging to there. I think it's not about the believing in Islam. It's about believing in this ideology and giving themselves right to change the world the way they think. You are absolutely right. They are strong. They are not a simple regime that you can calculate a strategy and just finish them. But there is no other way. There is no other way. The world needs to take this risk. There is no other way. People tried. Government tried. Even India might be in danger. Pakistan, Afghanistan, every country, South America could be in danger. They have no limitation. And the world tried to negotiate with them. Biden ended with giving them money. Obama ended with giving them money. The world needs to just now play the last scenario. There is no other way. I tell you, if they don't succeed, Iranian regime, the radical Islamic Republic of Iran, the ideology, they will not stop. They try to take over the world. We see in New York, we see in New York, we see in Paris, we see in Berlin, we see in every corner. Now, UAE has shut down the Iranian school, had shut down the Iranian mosque in UAE, in Dubai, which is very famous and
so,
very
Roxana, please
active.
explain this to us. Please explain this to us. Why do you, as an Iranian, still feel that schools and mosques run by this regime need to be shut down, as is being done in some countries? Because several mosques and schools funded by this regime, they're flourishing and spreading an ideology across the world.
Because this regime has a strategy. They go to the schools, they go to the mosques, they go to the peaceful places that should be spiritual and should be away from the politics. And they build and they raise new generation of their ideologies. Because mosque in Dubai was founded by Iranian government and used by Iranian government. Normal Muslim, they pray at home and they are peaceful. They want their Ramadan, they want their iftar, they want their life, they want to be successful. It has nothing to do with the religion. They shut down, they are going to shut down Iranian hospital as well. They shut down the school because they go to the school and they work out the ideology from the inside.
Give me a moment. I want to cut across to my colleague Shweta Singh, who joins us live right now from Israel. The situation, Shweta, remains very, very precarious. Where are you? What can you tell us? What's happening?
Gaurav, I'm on my way to Israel. I'm in Jordan right now because it being a Saturday, the border crossing had a lot of limitations. And but even in Jordan, since it borders Israel and the entire area of Jerusalem getting alerts every single day, there is an ongoing threat right now in Jordan as well. But I would like to add that Jordan, being in the middle of on route to a missile which travels from Iran to Israel, there are a lot of interceptions in the airspace above Jordan. So that is the case, but people have been asked to be alert, and people are just waiting that once this particular alert is over, they can get back to their work, their regular work. It's the month of Ramzan, and there are people who are waiting for iftar, and the markets will be crowded. But this is a normal scene even here in Jordan, on the Jordan-Israel border, Gaurav.
And this is a very, very important border. Jordan has played a very critical role. A lot of incoming missiles from Iran have been taken down by the Jordanian Air Force, by their missile defense shield, by the American forces. How vulnerable does that make Jordan in a situation where Iran has targeted multiple, not just GCC countries, but other countries in the region?
Gaurav, as you are aware, Jordan likes to be neutral and keep it that way with its neighboring countries in this particular area. As far as the US base here is concerned, you would remember that on day 1 and day 2 of the conflict, it was targeted heavily by Iranian missiles. And later, in fact, yesterday, a satellite picture of that particular air base where the third air defense system is located, that battery is located, that was released. And there are apprehensions that it was damaged severely. And as you are also aware that when we talk about an air defense system being damaged, it does not mean that it cannot function. Yes, it is compromised. It cannot work as well, but it is definitely in action. And since this is an important area, the air defense here is particularly strong to actually push off any threat from the enemy.
Jordan, as Shweta rightly points out, remains neutral, but Jordan has played a very critical role in the war on terror. But explain this to our viewers, Shweta. You know, you've been speaking to a number of people on ground. What is it that they expect? And is there apprehension that this war could go on much, much longer? And you know, we had entered Iraq in 2003 from the Jordan route to Iraq. That time there were a lot of fears the war could spread to the region. Is that apprehension there even now?
It is there, and definitely, because when we talk of a Jordan, it is not rich in oil, perhaps like we would talk about Saudi Arabia. So they depend on tourism. They want peace. If there is peace, there are a lot of tourists coming here. And that is why the people here would not want the war to go on for long. But there are apprehensions. People are not sure that it is what they will get. But I would also like to add, Gaurav, that when we talk about Jordan, there are a lot of Palestinians also living here. So the kind of reactions you get from anybody, from the administrators, and what you get from the man on the street is completely different. So yes, everybody here wants the conflict to end as soon as it can, but every single person has an apprehension that this might not be the case, especially though what Pezeshkian said today has had a lot of takers because he's spoken about the neighboring countries, and now they are hoping that probably hidden in his statement is a promise of a sort of a thing that maybe the conflicts will subside, if not end all of a sudden.
Keep tracking that story, Shweta. I will come back to you for more. Clearly, tourism is also a key area in Jordan. The Dead Sea resort and apart from Dead Sea, Petra, so many tourists come to that region. But remember, Jordan's also the place where Ziaul Haq had shot dead, massacred Palestinians. That's a story for another time. Welcome back. Big story coming in. Turkey is considering deploying its F-16 fighter jets in the region around Cyprus. Turkish Defense Ministry, apparently sources are telling journalists, and such a move could be seen as a major step. All of this is being planned to ensure the security of the Turkish Cypriots in the northern part of the island as tensions rise in West Asia with US-Israeli attacks on Iran. Turkey is planning to deploy its fighter jets, its F-16s in the region, and this actually marks a very complex geopolitical escalation, and regional players who are coming into play, their rivalries come into play here very effectively. And there are many analysts who are already arguing that this could well threaten to turn into the beginning of the Third World War. Could that actually be the case? We'll be tracking that story very closely.